Good afternoon, everybody. Happy to be here. And as Dr. Freelander mentioned, the topic for today's grand rounds is to bring a bit more of wellness and by that way, mindfulness into our daily practice at work. Could have benefits for our personal life as well. So let's see if everything works. So I don't have much to disclose, unfortunately. There are some objectives that have been shared with you. So the purpose of this grand rounds is not so much research oriented, but to help us identify benefits of various practices of stress reduction and implement them in our daily life and maybe become more familiar with various resources that we have for that at Hopkins and outside of it. Maybe practice, not maybe, but practice being present and mindful. So I organized this grand rounds. This presentation is mostly experiential. We're going to practice a lot, but so that to help you understand that I didn't make it all up, mindfulness has been a hot topic in literature for the past decade with exponential growth of publications and various research studies devoted to benefits of mindfulness in various settings. And the search I did just recently for mindfulness in medicine shows about 2,000 publications in the past 2 decades. I didn't read them all, but I did read quite a few of them. So there is a lot of literature supporting what we're going to be doing today. And with that, I'm going to switch from academic presentation to mindfulness practice with your permission. So mindfulness has many things, but most of all and most important, it's a practice. This is something, it's a meditation focused on being present in this moment. And so I would like us to start with a practice. So I invite you, and I know many of us are using this time as a lunch break, so bon appetit, but I invite you during the brief practices that we're going to take, maybe stop from eating. And those of us who are driving, please don't follow my instructions too closely and don't close your eyes. And for the rest of us, I invite you to find a comfortable position, find your feet on the floor. Allow your spine to be upright, just make any adjustments so that you could be comfortable for the next several moments. If you feel comfortable, allow your eyes to close, or if not, then direct your gaze somewhere in front of you without looking at anything in particular. And bring your attention to your breath. Just notice your body breathing without any effort on your part. Become aware of this inhale and exhale, and this inhale and exhale. Noticing the quality of your breath and the depth. Perhaps becoming aware of what it feels like to sense air at your nostrils or at your lips. Maybe noticing that the temperature of the air that you inhale is slightly cooler than the temperature of the air that you exhale. Becoming aware of rising and falling of your belly as you breathe in and out. Expanding your awareness to your whole body, just noticing your body here and now, this moment. What it feels like to have your body being supported by the furniture and sensation of touch between your body and sitting surface, or maybe your arms or your hands resting on your lap or any other surface. Noticing any and all sensations in your body. If there are any areas of your body that may ask for more tender loving care and attention today, maybe allow your breath to travel to those areas and then let go of any and all tension as you exhale. And expanding your awareness to your sense of hearing, becoming aware of my voice, the silence between the words, any sounds in your immediate space, maybe even in your body, or sounds from outside. Just noticing your body hearing. And then the next exhale, gently blink your eyes open if they were closed. Inviting the sensation of seeing to join your senses, just noticing the colors, objects, shapes, whatever your gaze rests upon. And then blink your eyes one more time and bring your attention back to our virtual room and the computer screen. Here and now, present, with whatever is. How that feels. So mindfulness is defined all kinds of different ways. I once did a search and found 100 definitions, and I'm not exaggerating, but the most common one and operational definitions we're going to use now is the one that John Kabat-Zinn brought to the Western world by way of mindfulness-based stress reduction, which is an evidence-based program for stress and pain reduction. So mindfulness is paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmental. Sort of like that doggy in the picture, to whatever is. Sounds pretty easy, right? I'm going to take it apart a little bit and talk about why is that important. So paying attention. Our recent age has been referred to as a continuous partial attention. We are constantly bombarded by some kind of emails, phone messages, other technology, under the pressure of work expectations, other expectations, as the time that we have to enjoy the products of all our productivity continues to decrease. That's very difficult to be present in a moment because the demands on time continue to increase. Mindfulness is thought as maybe a potential way to help cultivate our attention that by its effect helps to prevent or maybe even treat various disorders, increase our ability to cope with pain and stress, and maybe reduce stress for ourselves and our patients. So some wise men said that our attention could be in two different places. It's either in the world around us, so our immediate environment, whatever that we see, whatever that we sense, hear, touch, or it's in our mind. And by proportion, it actually tends to be a whole lot more in our mind than in the world around us, and our thoughts and various experiences that we continue to relive or anticipate. For that matter, nowadays, I think our attention is divided between the world and mind and the phone. That also takes away from mindful presence. So for the purpose of this presentation, I invite you, unless you're using your phone to connect, to maybe put it aside for a moment and see if that can bring some benefits. And if you are on your phone for the grand rounds, then maybe silence it or put it on do not disturb. So paying attention on purpose. Think about our attention being like a radio station. We could switch back and forth, right? And we could tune to a particular station on purpose and choose to stay there for a while. Or we choose to switch channels on purpose. So for the duration of this our time together, I'd like to offer a little mindfulness exercise here. See how well we're paying attention on purpose. So every time you see this guy, the radio thing, I'd like you to put your feet on the floor, if you can, and just notice what it feels like to have your feet being connected to the ground. And take a deep breath, and exhale. And imagine that your feet are connecting not just to the floor or your shoes or whatever they're resting on, but that connection goes deeper through the floor, through whatever the floor is beneath you, connecting you to the earth, just feeling connected to that very moment. And take a deep breath. And proceed. Paying attention on purpose in the present moment. One wise man said that there's only two places where we could be at any given moment. It's either present or not. Unfortunately, a lot of time is spent not being present. And even though time machine has not been invented, we tend to travel in our own self-invented time machine to the past and try to change the future and analyze and grieve and or try to predict the future, which we also can't, and which creates a whole lot of unease and anxiety and tension. And spend maybe 95 of our time, as they say, above our neck, traveling in our mind back and forth in time. So bringing our attention to the present moment, here and now, and that's what brings peace. And without judgment, paying attention on purpose in the present moment and without judgment, probably the most difficult part. We tend to judge all experiences that we have. It's good or bad, or useful or not, or pleasant or unpleasant, or hot or cold, tasty or not. Part of it is probably evolutionary useful, and part of it is not. So oftentimes in mindfulness practice, what Kabat-Zinn and others talk is about creating an observer's mind. So instead of identifying with our thoughts or emotions or sensations or judgments, we observe them come and go as we would observe the clouds appear and move around on a clear blue sky and then dissolve and change shapes, etc. There is no need to become any of those clouds or jump on them and travel with them on most instances. We can just watch them come and go. So sounds easy, right? Tara Brach says mindfulness practice is simple, but not easy. Simple, but not easy. There's a poem that I like to share with you that often used in all the mindfulness training about what is that being at peace, a poem named Peace by Dorothy Hunt. Do you think peace requires the end of war or tigers eating only vegetables? Does peace require an absence from your boss or your spouse or yourself? Do you think peace will come some other time than now? Some other place than here? Some other heart than yours? Peace is this moment without judgment. That's it. This moment in the heart space where everything that is welcome. Peace is this moment without thinking that it should be some other way, that you should feel some other thing, that your life should unfold according to your plans. Peace is this moment without judgment, where everything that is welcome. So mindfulness is about being aware of everything that's going on with us, our body, here and now, and being okay with that. Simple, but not easy. So mindfulness is a practice, and of course, the more we practice, the better we become at it. So there's two types of practice. There's formal practice and there's informal practice. And formal practice, so we did a little bit of that in the beginning, the breathing space. And that could be very brief or very long, focusing on your breath and just staying connected, because our breath happens to be always here and now, always an anchor to the present moment. There's a famous body scan practice that helps us to connect with where our body is and how it's doing in the present moment, attending to different parts of body in order, which has a lot of benefits for treating chronic pain and stress reduction in general. We're not going to do it now, but I have plenty of recordings to share. There's various guided meditations, as well as various forms of mindful movement. So think about yoga or Tai Chi or Qigong. These are all mindfulness practices, being present with your body and your breath and your movement in real time. And then there's all kinds of informal practices. So taking a walk, right? We could talk on the phone while we walk, or we could just notice our body moving, from heel to toe, and all the smells and sounds and sights that surround us as we walk. It could be even mindful driving, for that matter. Mindful eating, as you enjoying your lunch, paying attention to what it tastes like and what the texture of the food and how your body responds and whether you're full or not and whether you like it or not. And this has also a lot of implications for improvement in health behaviors. There's mindful communication that hopefully we'll get to practice a little bit, and various, mindful living, implementing all kinds of mindful moments during our day, work day, and personal space, and personal life and work life. So why would we do that, right? Why would we do that? Why would we stop and smell the roses? Because it's good for us, right? There's been, as I said, a zillion publications to show the benefits of mindfulness in various settings. And if we organize them in sort of clusters of helpfulness, there are several. So one of them is practice of mindfulness. Remember, paying attention on purpose. That helps to increase focus and concentration. So I do that a lot with my neurorehab patients, as well as my colleagues do, to help with attention retraining after various types of brain injury. But also for all of us, it's a good thing to practice paying attention and not divide it all the time. It helps to improve resilience because being present helps to reduce our stress by deactivating our amygdala, our limbic system, and bringing frontal lobes online. And by being able to deal with stress better, we improve our resiliency. People who practice mindfulness also get stressed, don't get me wrong, right? But we hopefully get over that stress a little faster and return to meaningful life. There's implications for improved somatosensory awareness and reduced pain suffering by practicing attention to your body. Enhance self-awareness by becoming aware of our triggers and avoiding or de-identifying from unhelpful behaviors and choosing behaviors and responses that are more helpful. And the cousin of mindfulness called loving kindness, that I also hope we're going to practice today, has a lot of benefits, as studies show, to help people connect with each other, to improve intergroup relationship, qualities of leadership, family relationships, etc. There have been a lot of studies about mindfulness at work, and I invite you to pay attention and maybe take a breath and find your feet. That showed that various programs implemented in various work settings. So when people even used an app to meditate 10 to 20 minutes once a day, that showed after several weeks a significant improvement in reduction of stress and improvement work satisfaction and decrease in blood pressure, and those effects remained a few months out. Practice mindfulness increases self-compassion. That also brings more happiness and work satisfaction in healthcare providers. There was a study that showed that work-based mindfulness programs improve well-being and, again, job satisfaction, but also important thing that we could only do that when work environment is supportive, right? That it's seen as something that you do that helps you and helps your patient care and helps improve quality of life for you and others, rather than a wasted time. So I thank our education committee and Dr. Freelander and our administration that we have the opportunity to practice even at Grand Rounds. So why does it work, right? So I'm a neuropsychologist. I'll talk a little bit about what happens in the brain, and then we get to practice some more. So stress engages our sympathetic nervous system, right? And oftentimes puts us in the sympathetic overdrive. There's always constantly something going on. We're constantly on high alert. There's a lot of stressors bombarded from the news, from daily life, from everywhere. So one of my mindfulness teacher, Tara Brach, calls it limbic hijack. Introducing mindful presence, awareness of this moment, brings our parasympathetic nervous system online and sort of creates a balance in our nervous system. So she calls it our parasympathetic nervous system as attend and befriend system. So think about even brief mindfulness practice as that break that breaks the stress response, the continuous stress response, and allows us to stop and just be and decrease activation of our limbic system and increase our frontal lobe engagement, which studies showed that even after 8 weeks of that standardized mindfulness practice or mindfulness-based stress reduction, the size of amygdala and activation of amygdala decreases. And with that, the connections between amygdala and frontal lobes become weaker, whereas connections of frontal lobes with other systems in the brain strengthen and prefrontal cortex seem to thicken. So there's another useful picture of one of the studies where they connected people to fMRI scans as they meditate, that shows that in this particular study, several meditators were instructed to pay attention to the breath, and they clicked the button every time their attention wandered or when they redirected attention to the brain. And what they noticed that as we pay attention continuously and sustain attention, dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, so the part of the brain that supports attention and executive function, stays online, whereas activation in various other parts decreases. So there's a lot of implication of being present and using our brain at its best capacity. So let's maybe take a mindful break, and something that you could do anytime in your daily life. Just take a few seconds to a few minutes. There's a technique called stop, right? Where S means stop. Stop what you're doing right now. Don't stop listening to me, but if you're doing anything else, then just stop that and allow yourself to be in a comfortable position, seated or wherever you are, and just notice your body, your feet on the floor, and T is for take a breath. So let's take a few slow deep breaths. Perhaps inhaling through your nose initially and exhaling through your mouth by pushing the air out through your lips, like until there's nothing there, and then repeating a few more times, just noticing your breath, the flow of the air as you inhale and exhale. Maybe another breath. Just noticing how each breath is slightly different from the previous one. Always for observe. Observe your body breathing. Noticing if there's any tension in your body, and if so, then as you exhale, maybe let go of that tension. Allow your shoulders to drop down and back. If you notice any tightness anywhere, see if you can relax into that. Perhaps noticing your thoughts or emotions or anything that's present here and now. Just observing without judgment. Noticing your body, noticing where your mind is going. Noticing what's there. Perhaps making a choice. If any of those thoughts or emotions should be carried on to the next moment or dropped here. Maybe noticing your mind wandering. Grounding it one more time with your breath. Just noticing your body breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And then proceeding, P for proceed to whatever's important right now. Hopefully the grand round presentation, but maybe something else. What is that I need right now? And bringing your attention back to our virtual room. Feeling all mindful and present. So the reason we're doing this is because it's important to take care of ourselves before we take care of others. And we're all very good at taking care of others and not always so good as taking care of ourselves. Maybe just me, but I have a feeling that others as well, right? Can't help anybody when you're dead. Can't help anybody when you're burned out and exhausted. And there is a lot of burnout, right? There's even before the pandemic, there have been quite a few studies on clinicians' burnout and various causes for that. And since the pandemic, even more so. And as you exploring all the reasons why you may feel burnt out, but hopefully not yet, because in July we're not, right? I invite you to also find your feet on the floor, take a deep breath, and just notice what is. So what do we do to prevent that burnout or deal with it when it already settles? So one of those things that we have already done, right? So noticing your emotions, just being present with what you feel, right? Because we react, we make mistakes, we do all kinds of things we're not proud of, when we're overwhelmed and tired and not present, when our mind is 10 steps ahead or somewhere in the past. So when we're noticing those kind of sensations or behaviors in ourselves, it's a good time to stop and practice what we just did. Or just find a minute to take a few slow deep breaths. We all have a minute here and there. And guess what? 10 slow deep breaths. Like one, and that's still one. Take whole 1 minute. Let's say 50 slow deep breaths, take 5. And we usually can find 1 to 5 minutes in our busy day to just stop and take a few slow deep breaths. And when we do that, that brings on that parasympathetic nervous system and balance to our brain and decrease our amygdala activation and brings our frontal lobes back online, which allows us to make better judgment and engage in better behaviors. There's another brief practice. We can just do it now. 3 breaths, all right? So we're going to take 3 breaths. On the first breath, just inhale and exhale slowly. Just notice your body breathing. With the next inhale, feel your belly with air. And then as you exhale, allow your body to relax. Just notice any tension. And let go. And with the third in breath, just ask yourself, what am I doing right now? What's important? Where am I going with that? And then proceed. Another thing we could do throughout the day is take brief breaks between patients, right? Some of us are still virtual, some of us are seeing people in person. And when we do that, we do need to wash our hands in between patients, right? And sing happy birthday twice as we do that. But besides singing happy birthday twice, it's a good idea to just pay attention to that simple act of hand washing, even if you're not between patients, we all wash hands, right? So choosing that as a particular activity, you might want to pay attention and just notice the temperature of the water and the sensation of touch and any smells and anything. 30 seconds or whatever brings you balance to your nervous system. Or taking a walk from one patient room to another, from one task to another, or between tasks and between patients, or between research appointments, or what have you. And while doing that, not processing what just happened or what will happen behind the next door, but actually paying attention to the movement. Your feet rotating from heel to toe, or what you see around yourself and the sounds that you hear and the smells of the air and the temperature of it. Spending time in nature when we can. Well, difficult to do during work, but maybe before or after has a powerful healing power. And also paying attention to that if we happen to be among trees or flowers or grasses, to what they smell and look like and any other attributes that you notice. Because every time we come to our senses, every time we pay attention to what we see and hear and touch and smell, we bring our attention to the present moment, right here, right now. And that helps to bring the stress level down. And as I mentioned before, trying to take breaks from electronics also tends to be therapeutic. There's another useful practice we can implement during workday and otherwise. Cousin of mindfulness is practice of gratitude and compassion, starting with ourselves and then others. And perhaps we'll take maybe 5 minutes or so to practice now, if you indulge me. So if you're eating, perhaps take a slight break from that and allow yourself to find a comfortable position where you could be still for a few moments. Take a deep breath. If you feel comfortable, allow your eyes to close. If not, just direct your gaze somewhere in front of you without looking at anything. Notice your body breathing. Notice what it feels like to be supported by the furniture. Notice your feet on the floor. Notice what it feels like to have your eyes being covered by your eyelids. Any and all sensations. And then bring to your mind something someone you're grateful for today. Maybe a brief moment, something that brought you joy. Maybe just your body breathing and functioning without assistance. Maybe something happened that you're grateful for. Just allow that experience to settle in. Perhaps allowing a smile to come to your face by bringing the corners of your lips up, and see how that changes the sensations and experience. Expanding that smile to your heart space. Just feeling your body smiling. Allowing that feeling of gratitude to stay with you for a moment. And noticing how your body reacts. Noticing anything that comes up. Any sensory experiences, emotions around your eyes. And that smile. And your heart space. And we'll take that practice a little further. It's called a practice of joy. So I want you to think about 3 people you love. Just think about 3 people you really care about. And bring to your mind's eye the first person and imagine seeing them at their happiest. Notice how your body and soul reacting. That smile on your face and in your heart space. Allowing yourself a moment there. And think about another person you love dearly and see if you can imagine yourself looking into their eyes, just noticing the shapes and color of their eyes and their eyes smiling. And again, experiencing what it feels like in your body, in the emotions. And bringing in your mind another person you care about, and think about the first time you met them. And that smile on your face. And in your heart space. And any other emotions or sensations that come up. Just noticing what's there, here and now. As you bring those experiences of gratitude and love into your mind and to your heart space. Now bringing your attention back to your breathing here and now, just noticing your body breathing, taking a deep breath. Exhaling. And then another deep breathing, and then allowing your eyes to blink open, hopefully keeping that smile on your face and in your heart. As a benefit of this practice, I cannot see anybody, but I very much hope the smile is present. There's another technique I learned somewhere that I'm happy to share with you. It's called a slideshow patient success story. So we tend to oftentimes fixate on any particular patient interaction that didn't go well, or something didn't happen, or any complaint, anything, right? But yet all of us are in this healing profession for the reason that we probably want to help people. Right. So in order to help us to reverse this negative bias, they say our mind is like Velcro to anything negative and like Teflon to anything positive, right? Anything that anybody told us something wrong, or we didn't have a good day, that sticks. Something went well, that sort of flies off us and doesn't stick. So in order for it to stick, sometimes it's a good idea to have that record in your mind, or maybe even in paper, or maybe you want to create your own PowerPoint of patient success stories. So think about all those grateful patients. Think about all those interactions you had here and there where you felt that what you did was of a lot of benefit to somebody's well-being, somebody's life, somebody's health, right? And having a good memory, a slideshow of those experiences. Also a good thing to bring our mind into a more balanced state to counteract effect of burnout and stress. And practice, and practice, and practice. And another important cousin of mindfulness is a practice of loving kindness. That's my favorite one. So loving kindness is a Pali word metta, that's a very short word that translates into a very long word because there's no better way to translate it. So, and the loving kindness stands for this wishing well to yourself and others, sending the positive wishes into the world directed to particular people or groups of people, ourselves. And there's been quite a few studies looking at the effect of regular practice of metta, the loving kindness. And what people report is that they feel that they become more open to the needs of others, more connected with others, more likely to help. Loving kindness, practice of loving kindness facilitate connections within groups and improves leadership quality. And also there are studies to show that groups that practice that tend to report greater job satisfaction. So with all that being said, I think it would be important for us to take a few moments to practice it too. And I warned you, and there's a lot of practice on this. So I invite you to, we're going to do a brief practice, but find some position in which you can be still for a moment. Well, more like 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes. Make any adjustments that you need to make. Find your feet on the floor, connected to the ground. Find your breath, just this breath, your body breathing. Here and now. Find that smile that was on the face not that long time ago. Bringing the corners of your lips up and noticing what it does. Allowing your eyes to close if you feel comfortable. Again, look at the screen, look somewhere if you're not closing your eyes. And then I invite you to bring into your mind's eye somebody you love dearly, somebody you really care about, maybe a family member, a dear friend, a beloved pet, somebody it's really easy to send these wishes to. And then repeat after me in your mind's voice, sending those wishes to this individual you care for deeply. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from inner or outer harm. May you live with ease. Noticing how your body responds to anything that arises as you send those wishes to your loved one. And then we're going to expand that circle. And I want you to think about another person in your life, maybe somebody you feel neutral about, a colleague, a neighbor, more distant acquaintance. See if you can bring that person to your mind's eye and then repeat after me in your mind's voice, sending those wishes to this person. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from inner or outer harm. May you live with ease. And again, noticing what arises. If it was easy or not, or anything softens in you maybe. If you care about that person a little more. And now I'm gonna challenge you to bring into your mind's eye a person maybe you don't care very much about. Maybe somebody you had a recent argument with or disagreement, or don't bring any global dark forces into your mind's eye, but maybe somebody you really don't care about very much. And then repeat after me in your mind's voice, sending those wishes to a person that maybe you had a conflict with. May you be filled with love and kindness. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be free from inner or outer harm. May you be safe. May you live with ease. And noticing again what arises, how your body responds, any emotions, if that was easy or not. If you need to practice it a few more times. I invite you to expand these wishes to the whole group, the Department of Physical Medicine Rehabilitation, to the whole Hopkins community, to all the people you know, to all the creatures on earth, as far as you want to go. Repeating after me in your mind's voice, may we all be filled with love and kindness. May all creatures be happy. May all creatures be healthy. May we all be safe from inner and outer harm. May we all live at peace. May there be peace. Noticing again how your body responds, any sensations that arise, any emotions that arise. Just noticing any responses from all your systems. And then gently bringing your attention back to your body, noticing what it feels like to have your body being supported by the furniture. Any sensation of touch between your body and the furniture, and the sensation of your skin being touched by your clothing, and open part of your body, open to the air. Noticing what it feels like to have your eyes being covered by your eyelids as you're breathing in and out. And listening to my voice. Expanding your awareness to the sensation of hearing any sounds in your immediate environment or in your body. Taking another deep breath and gently blinking your eyes open, bringing your attention to things that you can see. That was another out breath back to our virtual room, here and now. May we all be well. May we all be healthy. Thank you. Now, in all this mode, I'm going to talk a little bit for the remaining time about what is that we're doing here at the Department of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation to bring a little bit more mindfulness to work setting besides this grand round. So we're lucky to get the small grant sponsored by Office of Wellbeing for implementation of mindfulness in various work meetings. So most of you probably have seen the emails, and some of you have participated or will participate in the training. So there are 5 trainings, 1 already happened, 4 to go, where I share various mindfulness practices to representatives and leaders of different service groups within our department, with an idea that we're going to start each meeting with just a brief mindful moment. We have been doing that at the Division of Rehab Psychology and Neuropsychology for the past almost 4 years. And I think people have liked it, and there's been benefit, especially through pandemic, to help us deal with our stress, but also to connect with each other and send love and kindness. So a set of various practices that we could implement during in the beginning of the meeting, during the meeting, at the end of the meeting, but at least start in the meeting with a brief mindful moment where we will connect with here and now and de-stress and then proceed. If there are any other people who would like to take part in it, just send me an email and I'll add you to the group or create another one. There's another useful thing that we could do at work is to increase mindful communication, right? That tends to decrease conflict and improve understanding and collaboration and lead to better outcomes. So there's three types of communication that generally exist, right? Adversarial when we argue, and logistical, we meet somewhere at 2 o'clock, and then affiliative when we actually listen to each other, right? And mindfulness practice helps to bring that sort of level of communication back closer to the one that helps us connect. So, for example, taking 1 to 2 minutes in the beginning of any meeting or before every meeting to practice that loving kindness. So by sending wishes of loving kindness to somebody you're going to meet with or to the group you're going to meet with, whether with a group or even before that by yourself, while you're waiting for your, I don't know, annual review. And that helps to improve the outcomes of those meetings, people say, research says. So making sure that before we get into problem solving mode, we connect first, and that helps to problem solve better. Making sure that we actually listen, right? Being mindfully present as other people are talking, as opposed to preparing our own response while people are conveying their point. So here, mindfulness has a whole lot of implications for improving our communication and outcome of those. So that's a lot that's going on. There's a lot of resources available for that, for deepening and our practice, right? So remember in the beginning, I said that mindfulness is many things, but most important, it's a practice. The more you practice being present, the more benefit it has. The more your frontal lobes cooperate, the less your limbic system gets in the way. Not that limbic system is wrong, but sometimes it does get in the way. So at Hopkins, right? So as most of you know, we have free access to Calm app, which is #1 ranked mindfulness application that has all kinds of various brief and longer and different types of mindfulness practices. So if you don't have it yet, I encourage you to download. I'm not being paid by Calm, and for that matter, I don't even use it, but many of my patients, colleagues, and friends say that it's very helpful. Apparently there's space somewhere at Hopkins called Clarity Capsule, and we could go in a few minutes and just be quiet and listen to the music or just breathe or meditate. There is a mindfulness office of mindfulness that Neda Good of Department of Psychiatry represents, and she runs MBSR courses for faculty, as well as groups for patients, and there are other related resources there. If we expand it from Hopkins, so there's a local community that now, of course, is all online, but maybe with some in-person interaction as well. That's called Inside Meditation Community of Washington, that's led by Tara Brach. And there are many, many, many different types of mindfulness-based resources there on website, and various classes that people can drop to, and then longer and more elaborate types of practices and retreats and groups, and MBSR courses, mindfulness-based stress reduction. Through them as well, I mean, not through them, but Tara Brach and Jack Kornfield, who are probably the living one of the, some of the most famous mindfulness teachers, do this course, 40-day course for mindfulness at work, which is a 15-minute a day type of meditation that you can just do during lunch. And the outcomes are also quite supportive of better quality of life and enjoyment of work. And there's all kinds of online resources. I just put a few links here of sites that I've used and liked, but there are zillions. If you Google mindfulness, you can find all kinds of things. And I don't think any of them are harmful. Some of them more helpful than others, but lots of different brief and longer practices that you could listen to and do during the day. There's a lot of apps, and this is probably not all. So this top 20 is maybe a few years outdated. I don't know, it's top 20 now, but there's some that are free that, evidence-based and breathe to relax, just maybe taking a few slow deep breaths here and there. And I already mentioned Calm as sponsored by Hopkins, but the other ones are also helpful, Headspace and Insight Timer and others that have a lot of various mindfulness practice for all tastes. Right. So, and I want to close by this quote by Viktor Frankl, who wrote The Man in Search of Meaning after his Auschwitz experience, that mindfulness is what helps us in difference between responding versus reacting, right? Between stimulus and response, there is a space, and in the space is our power to choose our response, and in our response lies our growth and our freedom. And that being present, active presence in the moment, is that what makes it possible. Comments, questions? Thank you.
Just one quick question for you, Anna. You mentioned the mindfulness training, that you've done a few already and that there are a few more. Is there room for additional people to participate? And if so, can you share with us when and what dates those will be?
Yes, there's definitely room for additional people to participate. So I initially scheduled 5. We had 1 and 4 more scheduled. 1 is tomorrow. Then one a week, different days of the week. I can send those dates again through email to the department, or you, if anybody is interested, just email me, and we'll add you to a group that might work. Or if there are more participants that are interested, then I can create another group. So we have one on the 20th, 26th, August 1st, and August 4th right now.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. This was great. And you have a lot of comments there. And I think that you gave us several tips to how to go ahead and practice on our own, in our own terms and time. So this is great.
Were you able to participate? I didn't see anybody that I usually do any kind of training of the sort, and it's interactive. But everybody was hiding. So hopefully you were able to take a moment, just be present and don't think. And now everybody can happily return to their thinking mode. Whatever good things that you do. Thank you.
Thank you again, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.